Once bitter rivals, these underworld bosses now share an intimate moment, tending to each other's wounds. The female boss has lost her memory, and the male boss seizes the opportunity, claiming to be her loving husband. Unbeknownst to her, this man is her sworn enemy from before her amnesia. Instead of fleeing, the injured woman throws herself into his arms, nuzzling against his chiseled abs. Waking up with a handsome husband? A perk she's definitely going to enjoy. Just moments ago, Lee Yuan awoke in a hospital room, realizing she'd lost all her memories. Before she could process the situation, she was suddenly attacked. Relying on muscle memory, she dodged the first attack. Preparing to retaliate, she realized her attacker wasn't so easily deterred. Not only did he dodge her counterattack, he also pulled out a gun. Just when she thought she was defenseless, a gunshot rang out. A man appeared, killing Lee Yuan's attacker with a single shot. Shaken, Lee Yuan demanded to know who the man was. He smirked at "You've forgotten me? I'm your husband." Flushing, Lee Yuan threw herself at the handsome stranger, rubbing against his 8-pack abs. "I have such a handsome husband. Why did you take so long to save me?" The man's face paled. You just believe me? You don't have any doubts." Lee Yuan gazed at him, starry-eyed. "Of course, I believe you. Someone this handsome wouldn't lie to me." Internally, however, she was panicking. "I want to question you, but you have a gun." The pain from her wound caused Lee Yuan to collapse into the man's arms. Before losing consciousness, she continued her act. "Help me, husband. I'll be good." Alone and vulnerable, she decided trusting him was her best option. He seemed harmless enough. Will she really be good? Her display of weakness triggered a memory for the man. Gu Xinya. "Li Yuan, who do you think you are? Why should I listen to you? Get out of my way. Otherwise, I don't know what I'll do. From now on, you go your way, I'll go mine. We're even." Snapping back to reality, Gu Xinya stared at the vulnerable woman in his arms. He raised his gun to her head. "That I won't trust you again. Only the dead are truly obedient." But the bullet missed Li Yuan, hitting another attacker who tried to ambush them. "You fool. You dare try to ambush me." After dealing with the attacker, Gu Xinya's men arrived. He ordered them to clean up the scene and interrogate the attacker. One of his men noticed the unconscious Li Yuan and offered to finish her off. Gu Xinya stopped him immediately. "Don't touch her. I still have use for her." His man looked at him incredulously. "But boss, this woman injured most of our men." Gu Xinya's voice was laced with menace. "I said, don't touch her. Don't make me repeat myself." The next day, Li Yuan awoke from a nightmare. Seeing herself unharmed, she was relieved she'd gambled correctly. The man truly meant her no harm. "Good morning, wife." Turning towards a voice, Li Yuan's breath hitched. Could I really have such a handsome husband? She immediately switched to infatuated mode. "Good morning, husband. Aren't you cold-dressed like that?" He moved closer, his presence overwhelming. "Wife, did you remember anything today?" Li Yuan shyly looked down and "Oh, not even your name or mine. I'm sorry." He gently caressed her face. "Your name is Li Yuan. You're my wife. I'm your husband, Gu Xinya. You won't mind having me as your convenient husband, will you?" Li Yuan blushed, unable to meet his gaze. Her wound throbbed. Gu Xinya asked about it gently, offering to tend to it before the doctor arrived. With that, his hands reached for Li Yuan's shoulders. Li Yuan tensed up, shy, but didn't dare to react. "Do we really not need to wait for the doctor to look at this? Relax, we're already husband and wife. I even personally tattooed your back. I know every inch of your body. This isn't our first time either." The man undressed Li Yuan, his hands continually brushing against more of her skin. Although it wasn't their first time, Li Yuan, for some reason, was so embarrassed she couldn't speak. Was it because of her amnesia? Unconsciously, she murmured, "You liar." Hearing this, the man nibbled on Li Yuan's earlobe, whispering, "What's wrong? Why am I a liar? Did you remember something?" He'd said he was applying medicine, but it was clearly a ploy to test her. Li Yuan, in the midst of succumbing to his touch, felt a flicker of awareness. She quickly changed her demeanor. "I didn't remember anything. But that doesn't mean you can't apply medicine to my 8-pack. Are you done applying the medicine yet? You said you were going to treat the wound. How much longer are you going to dawdle?" Li Yuan keenly sensed that the medicine was a pretense. Testing her was the real goal. She decided to play along. Although she didn't remember anything, her muscle memory told her not to completely let her guard down around this seemingly harmless man. After the medicine was applied, they sat together at the dining table for breakfast. Gu Xingye continued to maintain his doting husband persona, personally feeding Li Yuan breakfast. Li Yuan, while inadvertently succumbing to his gentle charm, also felt that something was amiss. Not only was her cutlery plastic, but Gu Xingye's 2 subordinates were also full of hostility towards her. So she pretended to get up and reach for Gu Xingye's metal cutlery. This seemingly casual action immediately made the man tense. His two subordinates also instantly became alert, adopting defensive postures. Li Yuan quickly adjusted her demeanor. "That is my plastic cutlery, not cutting the meat? Can I borrow yours?" The air momentarily froze. Then the man slowly said, "Of course. My apologies, my dear. It was my oversight. I should have cut it for you beforehand." Li Yuan plastered on a smile. But judging from this man's reaction and the attitude of his two subordinates, she could basically confirm that this man was not her husband. If he were simply an enemy, she wouldn't still be alive. The most urgent task was to figure out what this man wanted from her. While Li Yuan was still pondering, a massive explosion shattered the windows, the blast hurtling towards them. Gu Xingye reacted swiftly, shielding Li Yuan behind him. While Gu Xingye's men exchanged fire with the attackers, Li Yuan gripped the small knife she had just obtained. If she plunged this knife into the man, she could escape in the chaos. But was it truly worth it? She had nowhere else to go. Suddenly, another explosion hit. The man again shielded her with his strong arms. Li Yuan looked at the man before her. His hand was now stained with blood. "You're injured." But the man simply shrugged it off that it's just a scratch. Why would this man, who had no connection to her, protect her so selflessly? Could he really be her lover? Just then, a pink-haired woman appeared outside the window, perched in a tree with a gun. "Li Yuan, I know you're in there. Get your ass out here." She then raised her 98K and fired wildly into the house. But this fierce attack revealed something to Li Yuan. The bullets were rubber. If she was truly meant to be killed, why use rubber bullets? Was this another one of Gu Xingye's tests? Outside, the pink-haired woman's subordinate urged her to stop. Gu Xingye's men are coming. The pink-haired woman realized she was outmatched on her own. Gritting her teeth, she ordered a retreat. The four of them ran off, panting. The subordinate was puzzled. Why did we risk doing something so pointless? For the boss, of course. The boss was in Gu Xingye's house. She had to create chaos to help her escape. It turned out the pink-haired woman was one of Li Yuan's subordinates from before her amnesia. Li Yuan had not only saved her, helping her deal with all those who bullied her, but also taken her in and taught her how to stand up for herself. Such a powerful boss must still be alive. She must have fallen victim to Gu Xingye's scheme. She had to rescue her. Meanwhile, Li Yuan was cleaning Gu Xingye's wound when she noticed an old scar near his tattoo. He couldn't help but stare, making Gu Xingye immediately notice her thoughtful expression. "What are you looking at?" This casual question, asked while Li Yuan was lost in thought, made her sense a slight probing tone. She quickly composed herself, adopting a love-struck expression. "Of course, I'm admiring my husband's gorgeous physique." Unable to discern anything from her probing, Gu Xingye suggested they change clothes. Soon, they arrived at the walk-in closet. Li Yuan immediately thought that if they were truly married, the closet would surely hold evidence of her presence. But when she opened the wardrobe, she was stunned. Inside were not only school uniforms, completely inappropriate for her age, but also sweet little mini-skirts she would never wear. Turning to the other side, she was even more shocked to find rows of various sexy lingerie. Wore these ridiculous clothes. Gu Xingye's preferences were truly baffling. Gu Xingye, leaning against the door, watched her flustered reaction with an ambiguous look. "Oh, you remember, wife?" "Remember what?" Li Yuan asked, confused. "That outfit that holds our most precious memory. It was our first time." Gu Xingye was referring to a time in their childhood when they went shopping together, and Li Yuan picked out a white t-shirt for him. It was the first piece of clothing Li Yuan had ever bought for him. However, Li Yuan mistakenly thought he was talking about the barely there lingerie in front of her. Realizing her misunderstanding, Gu Xingye broke out in a cold sweat. He quickly explained that they didn't live there often. It was just a villa in the suburbs, relatively safe. The clothes were randomly chosen by his subordinates. He then swiftly changed the subject, saying he wanted to check Li Yuan's injured hand. But while ostensibly checking her hand, he kissed her without hesitation. As the examination continued, they found themselves clinging to each other. This was unfortunate for the poor underling who came to report the doctor's arrival. He intended to inform his boss and his wife, but not only did he receive a glare from Gu Xingye, he was also forced to witness their intimate moment. The scene shifts to the doctor analyzing Li Yuan's condition. The amnesia wasn't severe. Her memory should return fully within 6 months to 2 years. However, Li Yuan felt this was too long. She wondered what other trouble she might encounter with Gu Xingye if it truly took that long. After the doctor left, Gu Xingye seemed displeased. "Li Yuan, nervously observed them. Suddenly, Li Yuan noticed a clandestine exchange between Gu Xingye and the doctor. The doctor handed Gu Xingye an unlabeled bottle of pills. Li Yuan pretended to stumble upon them and asked what they had discussed. Unexpectedly, Gu Xingye didn't try to hide anything. He handed her the bottle. The doctor said these pills nourish the brain and will help you regain your memory. Here, take one. Without a label? Who would take that? Li Yuan thought, struggling to control her expression. At that moment, Gu Xingye seemed like a viper in her eyes. But in the next second, she quickly adjusted her demeanor and cautiously asked, if it's just a supplement, why doesn't it have a label? Gu Xingye's face turned cold and expressionless at her question. Suddenly, he leaned down close to her ear and whispered, finally remembering, are you? It's poison. Li Yuan was startled, her mind racing to figure out how to respond. But Gu Xingye chuckled softly. Just kidding, wife. Did I scare you? His reaction surprised her. I'm your beloved husband. Why would I harm you? She had a point. If Gu Xingye wanted her dead, he could have easily done it already. There was no need to wait until now. Unless he wanted to drive her insane, or perhaps he had something even more cruel in mind. The thought made Li Yuan's head pound. Her post-amnesia instincts weren't as sharp. Gu Xingye was definitely suspicious. She would have to test him carefully later. The scene changes. Gu Xingye leads Li Yuan downstairs to rest, but he continues to remind her, both directly and indirectly, to take the pills. Li Yuan remained suspicious of the unlabeled medication and didn't make a move to take it. What's wrong? Still don't want to take it. Gu Xingye suddenly moved closer. Oh, you need me to feed it to you? With that, he held the capsule in his teeth and quickly leaned down, getting so close that they could feel each other's breath. Li Yuan frantically tried to pull away, stopping him. Her desperate struggle made Gu Xingye freeze. He was suddenly reminded of Li Yuan walking away from him without looking back. His expression changed drastically. He grabbed Li Yuan's wrist, pinning it above her head, and leaned down, pressing his lips hard against hers, transferring the pill into her mouth. Kissing her wasn't enough. Gu Xingye continued downwards, greedily wanting to explore more of her skin. Li Yuan struggled fiercely, but accidentally pulled at her wound, crying out in pain. Hearing her cry of pain, Gu Xingye instantly snapped back to his senses. Sorry, did I hurt you? Li Yuan, her cheeks flushed crimson, turned her head away, her eyes filled with reproach and shame. Gu Xingye lowered his head to look at her, his dull eyes shadowed by the hair falling over his forehead. Sorry, I remembered some unpleasant things. I lost control. Rest. With that, Gu Xingye left, leaving Li Yuan alone in the room, dazed. The lingering sensation of his touch still remained on her lips. They had already gotten this far, but he stopped, worried about her injury. What exactly had happened between them? The men went out to take care of some minor business, leaving the women under the strict watch of 4 burly guards. Who would have thought that this despondent woman was once a formidable underworld boss? Her subordinates, upon hearing that their leader was imprisoned in their rival's house, couldn't help but imagine the humiliation their boss was about to endure and immediately grabbed their rifles, ready to stage a rescue. Meanwhile, Li Yuan was engaged in a battle of wits with the 4 burly guards. Even a simple trip to the bathroom was strictly monitored. One guard nervously even pulled out his gun. The bald one then showed off his unique apple-peeling skills, the tip of the knife blatantly testing whether Li Yuan would make a move. Another guard brought her a cup of specially prepared, nourishing flower tea. But before she could even bring the cup to her lips, she immediately sensed something was wrong with it and excused herself by saying it was too hot. All these signs made it clear to Li Yuan, despite her amnesia, that she was in a precarious situation. She knew there were people in this house who wanted to harm her. Meanwhile, Gu Xingye was still in a business meeting when he received a sudden call from one of his men. His expression changed drastically as he answered. He abandoned his business partner and left without a second glance. The elderly Mediterranean man, who had just been conversing amicably with him, suddenly revealed a sinister smile. Back at the house, Li Yuan had managed to get rid of the 4 guards and was heading upstairs for a breather. But the moment she left their surveillance, a gun was pressed against her forehead. Upon receiving the news of Li Yuan's assassination attempt, Gu Xingye rushed back in a frenzy. Without a word, he charged upstairs to check on her. But the moment he opened the door, he froze. Li Yuan was not only unharmed, but sitting on the bed, casually eating potato chips. Looking at Gu Xingye's stunned expression, Li Yuan teased, "What? Disappointed I'm not injured?" Gu Xingye casually denied it, but for some reason, he felt a sense of relief. Li Yuan patted the empty space beside her, gesturing for him to sit down so she could explain. She told him that she had indeed been shot at. But in that moment, she hadn't felt any fear. Instead, a strange excitement surged within her. Relying on muscle memory, she dodged the bullet in 0.5 seconds. Like a bloodthirsty, wild animal, something within her had awakened. She easily counterattacked and killed her would-be assassin. Pressing her advantage, she tried to subdue the attacker, but he threw a smoke bomb. Li Yuan, her heart pounding, could only watch as he escaped. After she finished her story, Gu Xingye stared at her with a strange expression. Li Yuan asked, puzzled, "Why are you looking at me like that? So you just let him get away? Didn't even see his face?" "Of course not. I'm lucky to be alive. That's a shame. Seems like I have some rats hiding in my house." Gu Xingye stood up to leave. "Since you're all right, rest well." Li Yuan frowned and stopped him, "But I was almost killed. Aren't you going to offer some comfort?" Hearing this, Gu Xingye turned back, his gaze ambiguous. In the next moment, he suddenly leaned closer to Li Yuan, towering over her, his broad hand reaching out to touch the corner of her mouth. "I don't think you need this. Like you said, the wild, burning instinct within you is what you truly need." Li Yuan quickly turned her head away, dodging her hand. Just as she was about to deny it, Gu Xingye pinned her down on the bed, her arms held above her head. A familiar scene. "It seems you quite enjoy this kind of trick," Li Yuan said, struggling with shame. "Let me go. What if I don't? Then I'll crush your little..." The words hung in the air, the AMA atmosphere instantly plummeting to freezing. "That I told you. We didn't need comforting." As night fell, Li Yuan was just about to fall asleep. Suddenly, a gleaming blade hovered above her head. Gu Xingye looked at the sleeping woman's face. "Li Yuan, are you acting like this, or is this real? If only you could be like this forever." The blade plunged down towards Li Yuan, but stopped abruptly just above her neck. "She really is asleep. Good night, wife." The man turned and left. But in a corner he couldn't see, Li Yuan's hand gripped the sheets tightly. Was Gu Xingye just trying to kill me? The next morning, Gu Xingye was gone. His right-hand man, Hua Juanze, investigated the previous night's attempted assassination with Li Yuan. After interviewing the last subordinate, Hua Juanze said to Li Yuan, "Whenever things involve you, boss seems to lose his composure." Hearing this, Li Yuan voiced her doubts. "Did something unpleasant happen between Gu Xingye and me?" Hua Juanze lowered his head, his expression dark. "You and boss were once inseparable. But something happened. You hurt him deeply. You betrayed boss." No wonder Gu Xingye always seemed to harbor a strange resentment toward her. Gu Xingye never forgave betrayal. Wasn't she doomed? Li Yuan wanted to ask if she had cheated on him. After all, with such a handsome husband, she had no reason to. Had she perhaps grown tired of fine dining and wanted change of pace? But just then, the next subordinate to be questioned about the assassination attempt entered. Li Yuan knew it wasn't the right time and decided to wait until the investigation was over to pry more useful information out of him. But after questioning several people, they were either packing their things or using the restroom. Both of them knew the security cameras in the public area had been destroyed, and there was no solid evidence at this stage. So Hua Juanze decided to end the investigation for the day and advised Li Yuan to rest. Seeing her chance, Li Yuan was about to ask about the details of her supposed infidelity, but Hua Juanze quickly slipped away. That evening, Gu Xingye arrived home to find Li Yuan busy in the kitchen. She greeted him with a smile. She even served him a plate of sweet and sour pork ribs she had made herself, inviting him to try them. Looking at the chaotic state of the kitchen, Gu Xingye couldn't help but wonder if there had been another assassination attempt and Li Yuan had successfully dealt with the assassin. Were the ribs in front of him a new method of disposing of a body? But Li Yuan just looked at him with bright eyes, as if showing off the fruits of her afternoon's labor. Although he was already sweating, Gu Xingye couldn't refuse. He picked up a rib and tasted it. After chewing thoughtfully and swallowing, he saw Li Yuan looking at him expectantly, asking how it tasted. Gu Xingye's eyes seemed to hold something unfathomable. He licked his finger as if savoring the taste. "Delicious," he said. Li Yuan beamed and looked up to ask more. But in the next moment, Gu Xingye leaned close to her ear. "It's really delicious," he whispered. "Make it for me again next time, okay?" Before Li Yuan could react, Gu Xingye told her to rest, saying he had things to attend to. After he left, Li Yuan was left deep in thought. She picked up a rib and put it in her mouth, sighing inwardly. Gu Xingye, what did I do to betray you that you're still so tolerant of me? After leaving, Gu Xingye entered a secret room. Inside, the assassin who had attacked Li Yuan at the hospital was locked up. Still haven't gotten him to talk? Not yet, boss. He'd rather die than tell us who ordered him to attack Li Yuan at the hospital. Is that so? You don't really think your organization will let you off just because you keep your mouth shut, do you? I'll give you a day to think it over. Let's go, Juanza. With that, the two men left without looking back. But at this moment, a pair of feet stealthily stepped into this forbidden zone. So they hid you in the dungeon of this secret chamber. Don't blame me. I'm just doing my job for my employer. After saying this, the insignificant traitor took a knife and walked step by step towards the insignificant assassin. But just as the tip of the knife pierced towards her, the insignificant traitor was dumbfounded. It was a dummy. At this moment, Gu Xingye's ghostly voice sounded from behind. It's a pity. That assassin has already been transferred by us to a safe place. No wonder you wanted to kill Li Yuan the moment you saw her at the hospital. So it was you. Tell me who's behind this, or it's goodbye. It was Liao, the boss of the Qilin Chamber of Commerce. Are you sure it's okay to just let him go like this? Hui Juanza asked Gu Xingye. I won't let anyone who betrays me off the hook. Liao is no exception. Even if he took the money, he may not live to spend it. On the other side, Li Yuan was still pondering her complicated and confusing relationship with Gu Xingye. As she thought, she felt a splitting headache. A ghostly image of Gu Xingye appeared before her eyes. Then, a burst of noisy commotion pulled her back to reality. The boss really isn't home. Miss, please go back. Get out of my way. How dare you stop me? During the struggle, the short-haired woman seemed to notice Li Yuan. She immediately turned her head and glared fiercely at her. Li Yuan, adhering to the principle of not hitting someone who's smiling, cheerfully asked the short-haired woman, "Want some chips?" This one phrase, young lady, made the short-haired woman explode. You bitch. How dare you call me young lady? You're a whole year, 4 months, 21 days, 11 hours, and 40 minutes older than me. Li Yuan was puzzled. Why are you so agitated? Huh, you're still playing dumb. Listen up, my name is Ding Luiying. I'm Gu Xingye's real girlfriend. Get out of here, you shameless homewrecker. Meanwhile, Gu Xingye was discussing business with Ding Luiying's father, a member of the Zhenghe Chamber of Commerce. Ying has probably been bothering you a lot recently. I apologize for that. It's alright. Actually, I brought Li Yuan back home. And your reason for doing so is, I don't have any feelings for Li Yuan. I'm keeping her here for revenge, and to get back the chamber's square seal that she has. The same words, the first half of the sentence, had already reached Li Yuan's ears from Ding Luiying at the same time. So, Gu Xingye had ulterior motives for keeping her imprisoned. Time to provoke this silly girl and get some more information out of her, A.S. Gu Xingye's real girlfriend. Have you slept with him? Ding Luiying was furious. You bitch. What are you talking about? What's it to you? Seems like you don't know anything. And you dare call yourself his real girlfriend? You probably don't even know why I'm living here. Provoked, Ding Luiying immediately took the bait. Who says I don't know? You and Xingye Gij are mortal enemies. He spared your life only because you took something very important from him. Mortal enemies, something very important. Li Yuan quickly extracted the key information from Ding Luiying's words. And Ding Luiying didn't disappoint, continuing, you think you can erase the hatred of you stabbing him just by pretending to have amnesia? His collarbone was fractured. You almost killed him, so I stabbed him in the chest. What happened? Why can't I remember anything? Everyone says I betrayed him. Was I really such a terrible person before? It might be dangerous to stay here any longer. This was the only thought left in Li Yuan's mind. She hurried back to her room, wanting to pack her things and leave. But at this moment, Gu Xingye suddenly barged Li Yuan. Where are you going? Li Yuan played along. Your girlfriend told me to get out. Girlfriend? I don't have a girlfriend. Ding Luiying. She said she's your real girlfriend. She's the daughter of Washerin from the General Chamber of Commerce. We're just acquaintances. I may have amnesia, but I'm not interested in your romantic entanglements. Since I'm just another fish in your pond, please be so kind as to let me go. Hearing this, Gu Xingye looked like a dejected puppy as he sat down in front of Li Yuan. You can't leave. Li Yuan moved closer to him. Gu Xingye. You claim each contract protects me, but in reality, you're imprisoning me here. Instead of us suspecting each other, let's just talk openly. Is this scar for me? Gu Xingye bared his teeth slightly. Who told you that? Don't deny it. Gu Xingye, you hate me, right? He turned his head away, his ears visibly reddening. His voice softened. No, I don't resent you. Still not admitting it. Li Yuan leaned against Gu Xingye's body, speaking suggestively. When will you be as honest as your body? Brother Xingye, keeping me locked up like a canary, enjoying the power of controlling everything about me. It satisfies you, doesn't it? Gu Xingye looked down anxiously, avoiding Li Yuan's eyes, and oh no, it's not like that. I just want to protect you. Protect me? Li Yuan tilted her head quizzically. You keep me locked up at home, make me take unidentified pills every day, and have a bunch of your men watching me with real guns and knives. And you have the audacity to call it protection. If you were me, would you believe it? Gu Xingye looked at her helplessly. Then what do you want? Let me go, Li Yuan stated bluntly, paying no attention to the flickering emotions in Gu Xingye's eyes. The air crackled with tension. Li Yuan finally lost her patience and reached for Gu Xingye's waist, snatching his gun. "Promise me, or I'll die right here in front of you." Gu Xingye was startled and frantically tried to grab the gun from her hand. "Put the gun down. Don't be impulsive." But Li Yuan was a ruthless character. Seeing her resolute attitude, Gu Xingye could only agree through gritted teeth. Immediately became alert again, as expected. The fox's tail can't be hidden forever. Are you finally revealing your true purpose? But Gu Xingye only looked at her tenderly. "Promise me you'll take care of yourself out there. I'll be waiting for you to come home." The scene changed. Li Yuan, with her luggage packed, stood at the door. "Sorry, Gu Xingye, I have to break my promise. I won't be coming back to this magnificent, giant birdcage." Then, Li Yuan drove towards freedom, not looking back. She didn't know why, but Gu Xingye's tender gaze at their parting kept flashing through her mind. But before she could react, a large truck accelerated and rammed into her. Li Yuan desperately swerved, but her car still spun out of control and crashed into the roadside barrier. Then, 3 gunmen got out of the truck and approached Li Yuan. Li Yuan was slumped against the airbag, her face covered in blood. Outside the villa, the surveillance team didn't know it was Li Yuan who had left. Gu Xingye wouldn't play such underhanded tricks. Could there be someone else in the villa? The gunmen were slowly approaching Li Yuan, guns raised. But in the next second, one of them was shot in the head. A strange yet familiar figure appeared outside the car window. "Hello, Yuan Yuan. Long time no see." As soon as Li Yuan left, Gu Xingye's men expressed their concern. "Boss, just letting Li Yuan go like that. She has a lot of enemies. What if something happens to her?" Gu Xingye's expression remained calm. "I've already leaked the news that the Chamber's Square seal is in her possession. She has to stay alive for the Chamber's Square seal to have a chance of resurfacing. Even if she's captured, I'm confident I can rescue her. Except for that madman." But Gu Xingye didn't know that Li Yuan had already fallen into the hands of the madman he spoke of. The white-haired man was indeed a madman. He boasted to Li Yuan about how he had taken care of the people who attacked her. He had just murdered several people, yet he wore a carefree smile on his face. Li Yuan couldn't help but wonder how she had come to know such a person. But as a precaution, she pretended to be familiar with him, responding cautiously. However, her stiff expression aroused the white-haired man's suspicion. He got up and approached Li Yuan. "Yuan Yuan, you seem strange. Could it be that the car accident made you lose your memory? Yuan Yuan, if you forget me, I'll be very heartbroken. A Yuan Yuan who doesn't remember me has no value in existing." Li Yuan feigned ease, but her heart pounded in her chest that I didn't lose my memory. It's just, she quietly moved her hand towards a shard of glass. In the next second, she jabbed the shard into the white-haired man's shoulder and neck. Taking advantage of his surprise, she scrambled out of the car. But as she ran for her life, she was struck by another bullet. The white-haired man appeared behind her like a ghost. This the Li Yuan I know? It's a shame you're still the same as before. Always forgetting to finish the job. But it's been a while since we've had some fun. Why don't you come to my place today? We can catch up." At this moment, Li Yuan unexpectedly discovered that what she had planted was actually rubber. The bullet wouldn't be fatal, and she had indeed landed a solid blow. The white-haired man was still leisurely brushing himself off. "Even though I'm ruthless, you hit me pretty hard." Li Yuan was thinking, this guy knows me. He might be able to provide me with some useful information. I might as well go home with him and see. So the two of them drove home. In the car, the white-haired man continued to bicker with Li Yuan. Li Yuan could only respond cautiously. Actually, through Ding Luing, Li Yuan had a general understanding of what kind of person she was. As long as this weirdo didn't discover her amnesia, she should be safe. Just then, 2 familiar figures flashed past the window. "Hua Juanza, what is he doing here? Is that his girlfriend?" It turned out that Li Yuan's former subordinate, the pink-haired woman, in order to find out information about Li Yuan, had deliberately schemed to get close to Gu Xingye's subordinate, Hua Juanza. Under the pink-haired woman's advances, their relationship had steadily heated up. It had developed to the point where they could chat face-to-face. The white-haired man thought he saw someone he knew and asked Li Yuan if she wanted to get out of the car and say hello. Li Yuan refused. So the white-haired man started his morbid jokes again. "This deserted wilderness is quite suitable for disposing of a body." Li Yuan couldn't help but worry about her personal safety again. Amidst the bickering, the two arrived at the white-haired man's house. Inside, Li Yuan bandaged the white-haired man's wound. She also unexpectedly discovered that the white-haired man's house had a fully equipped medical room and laboratory. While she was curious about his identity, the white-haired man asked her if she wanted to take a shower. Such a private matter, as taking a shower was spoken of so casually. Could he be a close friend? So, with a probing intention, she asked, "Would it be inappropriate for me to shower here?" The white-haired man suddenly became alarmed. "Oh my god. Yuan, you don't suspect I peeked, do you?" His agitated reaction made Li Yuan a little embarrassed, but also proved that they were just ordinary friends with no ambiguous relationship. A little while later, the white-haired man mentioned that he had some work matters to discuss with her. He led Li Yuan to the lab table and told her that the formula for this batch of medicine was a bit complicated. The weaving medicine still needed more time, but he could give her a discount. Li Yuan then realized that this madman was her partner in making weave. The white-haired man, thinking it was another high-profit weaving medicine, excitedly went to do the experiment. After a while, he finished the identification and discovered that it was just a medicine to nourish the cranial nerves, specifically for treating amnesia. Hearing his words, Li Yuan was instantly stunned. It was really just medicine for amnesia. Gu Xingye hadn't intended to harm her. The white-haired man was still puzzled. This kind of medicine is very niche and not very profitable. Who will be taking this kind of medicine? It's not you, is it? Li Yuan was suddenly startled. Oh no. So she quickly changed her story, claiming that she was just asking for a friend. The white-haired man walked over to a calligraphy scroll and casually asked, Yuan, do you remember this calligraphy you gave me? It even has both of our names on it. Li Yuan looked at the calligraphy before her. It did feel somewhat familiar, and it was indeed her name. So she replied, I wrote it. But upon hearing her answer, the white-haired man suddenly let out a chuckle. In the next second, he pressed a sharp blade against Li Yuan's neck. So, Yuan, what's my name? I'll count to 3. Move the knife away. The white-haired man raised his hands. Don't be nervous. I just want to hear you say my name. Li Yuan instinctively felt goosebumps all over her body. She decided to follow her instincts. Even if I hadn't lost my memory, I probably wouldn't call him by his name. With that, Li Yuan turned to go back to sleep. The white-haired man pleaded with her to stay and play a little longer. Hearing no further sound, Li Yuan turned her head. She found the white-haired man staring thoughtfully at the calligraphy. Could that be his name? Seeing her familiar handwriting, Li Yuan felt as if something was surfacing in her mind. Wan and Qianli. Splitting it apart makes the two characters Qianli. It feels like a word game I intentionally played. Hearing Li Yuan call his name, the white-haired man was overjoyed. It seemed he had guessed correctly. Back in her room, Li Yuan couldn't sleep. She found herself missing Gu Xingye, the Yi family's comfortable bed, and his thoughtful bedtime stories. Suddenly, a loud clang caught her attention. Throwing on some clothes, she went to the basement to investigate. To her surprise, she found Qianli fiddling with a dried corpse. The sight struck Li Yuan, triggering painful memories that began to surface. As a child, her mother always waited for her father to come home, but she had never met him. Later, her mother became very ill, but they had no money. Li Yuan had to go out and search for medicine. After overcoming countless hardships, she finally met a kind person who gave her medicine. But when she returned, her mother was sleeping so soundly that Li Yuan couldn't wake her. Her mother's jaw was clenched tight. With great effort, she finally managed to pour the medicine in. Later, her mother's body became cold. She must have broken her fever. Li Yuan stayed with her sleeping mother for a long time. Then, one day, a group of people broke into their home and tried to separate them. Perhaps because her mother hadn't bathed in a long time, her scent attracted them. They wanted to take her mother away. Li Yuan fought back desperately. But in the end, she was sent to a place called an orphanage. Later, a kind person adopted her. Child, I've buried your mother. From now on, you'll come with me. This is my nephew. We'll be companions from now on. The little boy standing by the man's feet looked very familiar. It must have been Gu Xingye. Li Yuan struggled awake from her dream. Yuan, calling another man's name in my bed? How cruel. What are you doing here? You fainted at the entrance to the secret room last night. I carried you back. Do you like my collection? Li Yuan ignored him and instead asked if he knew of any island covered in pink cherry blossoms. In her dream, her younger self and Gu Xingye had been sitting under a pink cherry blossom tree. They had buried a large time capsule under the tree, but Gu Xingye wouldn't let her open it yet. They promised to open it together in 10 years. Li Yuan held out her small hand, wanted to make a pinky promise. Young Xingye looked at her expectantly. In 10 years, will we still be together like this? Her younger self firmly promised him, we'll still be like this. The next moment, her face in the memory became raising a knife, mercilessly, slashing at the man blocking her path. I don't know if white hair answered your question, but I can take you to ask him. Li Yuan said no. She would go herself. Soon, she arrived at the docks. She asked the boatman if he knew of any small island covered in cherry blossoms. The boatman thought for a moment that it should be Hongba Island. The time capsule was buried under that tree on the island. Maybe it could restore more of her memories. As Li Yuan boarded the boat, a mysterious figure followed her. Li Yuan immediately sensed the strange man. His figure seemed familiar, but the next second, the boatman turned around, looking at her with a grim expression. Several burly men suddenly barged in. "Beautiful lady, come with us. Someone wants to see you." Realizing she'd been trapped, Li Yuan slowly took off her glasses. "Come with you? Which is your lot? I think I'll be sending you on your way." With a few quick shots, the men fell to the ground. Suddenly, with her guard down, a gun was pressed against the back of her head. "Out of bullets, miss." But the next second, a gun was pressed against the man's head. The three of them engaged in a Hong Kong movie-style standoff. "Drop your weapons. Tell your men to stand down. Do you think you can kill more than a dozen men?" At that moment, the mysterious man in the hat revealed his face. "I'll give you 1 minute. Either get lost or die." Li Yuan was shocked. The sneaky man was Gu Xingye. "I brought enough bullets on board today to deal with all of you. Leave if you don't want to die." Li Yuan was surprised to find that, despite only being separated for a day, she was so happy to see his face again. The attackers were still indignant, but under Gu Xingye's threat, they boarded a small boat and left. "Just let them go? That's not like you. Should I have killed them all then? Including you? You're a big name now. The whole world is after you." They probably never dreamed the prize would come to them. Li Yuan was somewhat speechless at these words. "I was trying to get somewhere. I heard this was the only dock that goes there. I didn't expect to board a pirate ship. It's a beautiful place, covered in pink flowers." Li Yuan trailed off, turning to stare intently at Gu Xingye. Gu Xingye's eyes flickered. She didn't answer directly. She already knew Li Yuan remembered. Li Yuan asked her bluntly, "You don't mind that I cut you and stole your things? Why did you bring me home to heal? Threatening me directly would have been much faster than trying to win me over with kindness." Gu Xingye still didn't look directly at her. Bathed in the sunset's afterglow, she seemed a little melancholic. "In your world, are profits the most important thing?" Li Yuan asked. Li Yuan answered without hesitation, "Yes." "What would you do if someone did that to you?" "I would definitely take revenge. Even if they fled to the ends of the earth, I would find them and repay the harm they caused me." "If you were the one betraying and hurting others, would you want them to take revenge on you like that?" "I bet. If you do evil, you must bear the consequences." Gu Xingye's eyes flickered, making it impossible to tell what she was thinking. Suddenly, a violent explosion rocked the sea. It turned out the men who had just been driven away weren't giving up. They blew up the boat. Li Yuan fell into the sea, her body sinking continuously. Her consciousness began to fade. Seawater rushed in, making it difficult to breathe. Suddenly, she felt a figure approach. Lips pressed against hers. Fresh air was delivered. When she opened her eyes again, she had been washed ashore on an unknown island. Badly injured, she looked around. Gu Xingye was nowhere to be seen. Even the surrounding environment was completely unfamiliar. Gu Xingye had given her air. She must have drowned trying to save her. She had been so caring, genuinely wanting to help her regain her memory. And yet, Li Yuan had doubted her the whole time. "It's all my fault. I can't remember anything. I'm useless." Stranded on the deserted island, Li Yuan felt helpless for the first time. But in the next moment, she pulled herself together. Regretting things here wouldn't help. "I need to see if there's any food and water." With that, she walked into the unfamiliar island. As she walked, she seemed to see something ahead. It was a secluded cabin. It looked exactly like the place in her dreams. Could this be Hongbao Island? Elsewhere, the successful ambushers returned to shore. Their leader boasted about taking down the notorious Li Yuan. He was about to call his boss to report his success, but for some reason, he couldn't get through. Then, he realized he couldn't move. He turned to find his men had all collapsed. A ghostly figure sat at the bow of the boat. Don't worry. I just gave you a little something while you weren't looking. It's not fatal," the figure said. "Where's Li Yuan?" The figure stepped closer to the terrified man. "Trash like you doesn't deserve to kill Li Yuan. You owe me another favor. My Yuan. Meanwhile, Li Yuan entered the cabin. No one was inside, but it felt strangely familiar. Every corner, every object seemed to bear traces of her presence. Suddenly, she found a television in the corner. She picked up a videotape and put it in. It was a video of Gu Xingye as a child, wearing a dress. Gu Xingye looked adorable in the video, playing and fighting with her in a pink dress. Her adoptive uncle stood by, watching them with a gentle smile. The heartwarming scene brought tears to Li Yuan's eyes. At the end of the video, Gu Xingye mentioned the time capsule buried under the tree in the backyard. Li Yuan suddenly remembered and rushed outside to search. After persistent digging, she actually found 2 time capsules. With a flicker of anticipation, Li Yuan opened the first capsule. Inside was a photograph. It was a picture of a happy family of 3. There was also a handwritten letter from Gu Xingye. The letter said he wanted to grow up tall and be her husband. The writing was childish but sincere. Li Yuan was moved to tears again. Was Xingye really dead? After composing herself, she opened the second capsule. Li Yuan was shocked by what she found inside. It was the Sifong seal. How could it be here? The Sifong seal, which everyone was frantically fighting over, was actually in her time capsule. Who put it here? Yuan, you're really not dead. I was so worried. I thought you were torn to shreds by the rain, like Gu Xingye. The man who was gone for 3 days miraculously returned, but he thought his former rival had saved him and proceeded to shower his rival with kisses, hugs, and lifts. But the one who actually saved him was the wind-cloaked man. After being rescued, Li Yuan finally opened the time capsule she shared with Gu Xingye. But to her surprise, the capsule contained the Sifong seal, which various factions were vying for. Just then, an unexpected guest suddenly appeared. Yuan, you're really here. Li Yuan was startled. Sheng Qianli, what was he doing here? Seeing the time capsule in his arms, she mocked him mercilessly in her heart. You're not still looking at time capsules to reminisce about the past, are you? The Li Yuan I know isn't this sentimental. You've been acting a little unlike yourself lately. Li Yuan was panicking. She couldn't let Sheng Qianli discover the Sifong seal in her possession. So, pretending to fix her hair, she hid the Sifong seal within it. She asked nonchalantly, what are you doing here? Were you following me? You're so mischievous. Qianli teased, I was worried about you. I was going to make your corpse into a mummy and keep it. Any damage to your appearance would be a shame. Like that Gu Xingye. He was gnawed on by fish until he was horribly disfigured. I might as well bury him in the hole you dug. Hearing Gu Xingye's name, Li Yuan's expression changed. You ran into Gu Xingye? What happened to him? But Qianli still wore a sickly sweet smile, as if teasing Li Yuan was highly amusing. He said lightly, he's dead. Look, his body's over there. Looking in the direction he pointed, she indeed saw the battered body of Gu Xingye lying weakly in the grass. The scene changed. Gu Xingye had been brought into a room. Li Yuan's gaze was no longer hostile, but full of tenderness. Gu Xingye slowly opened his eyes. He saw Li Yuan sitting by his bedside. The usually cold Li Yuan was now full of concern. Overjoyed, he exclaimed, Li Yuan, you saved me. Before Li Yuan could react, he pulled her into a tight embrace. I knew you cared about me. Why didn't you want me to die? But the two, lost in their affectionate display, ignored Qianli standing nearby. Hey, get your paws off Yuan. Only then did Gu Xingye notice Qianli's presence, and his expression immediately darkened. Provocatively, he pulled Li Yuan even closer. Pressed against Gu Xingye's chest, Li Yuan's face flushed crimson. The atmosphere between the two was tense, as if a fight might break out at any moment. Seeing this, Li Yuan quickly intervened. Stop it. Qianli is still injured. Qianli instantly became a whining mess. That you're scolding me for him? Am I not as important to you as he is? Li Yuan was speechless. She tried to explain that wasn't what she meant, but before she could finish, Qianli's expression changed. Did you hear that? I'm the most important person to Yuan. This left Li Yuan even more speechless. Qianli continued provocatively. You should know, Yuan has been with me for the past year. I'm her most important partner. Gu Xingye retorted dismissively. Partners are replaceable. You're nothing compared to the years Li Yuan and I have known each other. This enraged Qianli. You've known each other for so long, and you still ended up enemies. Yet she was willing to save me. She saved you? It was me, damn it. I even used my jacket to bandage your leg. Gu Xingye looked disgusted, as if he had swallowed something foul. Qianli, feeling triumphant, gloated, what, are you disgusted? Then take it off if you can. At this moment, Li Yuan felt a strong sense of dissonance. Both of them were formidable bosses, yet their arguments sounded like 2 elementary school children bickering. However, Gu Xingye's angry expression was exactly the same as when he was a child. Even if you did save me, it was Li Yuan who told you to. Do you think everything's fine just because you saved her? Your wound is infected. There's no medicine here. If your fever doesn't go down tonight, you'll either die or become an idiot. Then Yuan and I will bury you together. On the other side of the dock, a group of people had already begun to move. Bring more weapons. Don't let either of them come back alive. The once sworn enemies, 2 underworld bosses, now plan to propose to each other. All because after narrowly escaping death on the island, they unexpectedly remembered their carefree childhood days together. After Gu Xingye recovered from his injuries, the three of them bickered as they prepared to leave the island. Then, they made an unbelievable discovery. The boat they had sailed thousands of miles on had been burned, and a group of people with guns were heading their way. Outnumbered and without weapons, Li Yuan's side couldn't risk a direct confrontation. So, Gu Xingye suggested they hide in the secret passage under the house. After arriving in the passage, Sheng Qianli found it small and dilapidated. He couldn't help but complain, Yuan, let this cripple hide here by himself. We can totally fight our way out. Gu Xingye retorted domineeringly, if you don't want to live, don't drag Yuan down with you. Then he secretly pressed a switch. He shut Sheng Qianli outside. Li Yuan looked at him in shock. You activated the mechanism? Yes. Sheng Qianli is too much of a nuisance, and he doesn't seem to know you've lost your memory. Sure, I didn't tell him. After all, it's my weakness. I don't want anyone to know. Gu Xingye's eyes lit up. Then he gently kissed Li Yuan's fingertips. An ambiguous atmosphere instantly filled the entire space. All right, I definitely won't tell anyone. While the two were still engrossed in each other, the group had already barged in. They only saw Gu Xingye alone in the cellar. The leader was about to rejoice at finally capturing Gu Xingye. But then a switch was flipped and a huge pile of boulders came crashing down. The men who were just incredibly arrogant moments before were instantly reduced to ashes, although the two had narrowly escaped death again. Gu Xingye's wound started bleeding. Without time to treat it, they wanted to leave quickly. But at that moment, another figure appeared at the entrance. It was Sheng Qianli, completely unharmed. Yuan, seeing you so lively, I guess I won't have to collect your body after all. In the next second, he transformed into his usual bickering self, arguing with Gu Xingye. Li Yuan, the more level-headed of the three, reminded them to leave quickly and resolved to find out who was after her when they got back. After much hardship, the three finally escaped the island. Gu Xingye invited Li Yuan to go home with him. Li Yuan was about to agree when Sheng Qianli, unaware of what had transpired, stepped forward and protectively stood in front of Li Yuan. Don't be ridiculous. What right do you have to invite her? Gu Xingye replied calmly, I'm her husband. He then looked at Li Yuan. Yuan, will you marry me? Li Yuan was stunned. Don't rush to refuse me. Think about it carefully. Marrying me has more advantages than disadvantages for you. After they reached the shore, Gu Xingye's men came to pick him up. Before leaving, he didn't forget to remind Li Yuan again, come find me anytime once you've made your decision. Sheng Qianli asked Li Yuan if she wanted to stay at his place, but Li Yuan declined, saying she had something to do. However, that very night, she secretly snuck into Gu Xingye's house. After all, compared to being alone, she felt safer with the Sifong seal by Gu Xingye's side. Having just hidden her things, the perceptive Li Yuan noticed someone approaching. When Gu Xingye and Hua Junzi entered, they also sensed someone had been there. Hua Junzi raised his gun, prepared to fight to the death with the intruder. Then, they saw Li Yuan, wrapped in a towel, walking out of the bathroom. May I borrow the bathroom? Gu Xingye's face hardened. Hua Junzi didn't dare breathe and scurried away. Once the third wheel was gone, Gu Xingye advanced on Li Yuan step by step. Tell me, what are you really trying to do? Once bitter rivals in the underworld, they were now about to walk down the aisle together. But the night before the wedding, one of Li Yuan's former subordinates showed up. After Gu Xingye proposed, Li Yuan appeared at her house that very night. She wrapped her arms around Gu Xingye's neck suggestively. Do you really not know what my being here means? I accept your proposal from earlier today. But Li Yuan also had a condition that I want a lavish wedding. She just needed a setting where she could see more familiar faces. The more people she saw, the more memories she would trigger. Before she figured out why her past self had hidden the Sifong seal, it couldn't be revealed to Gu Xingye. The most dangerous place was the safest, and based on the memories she'd recovered so far, Gu Xingye was trustworthy. Gu Xingye, however, also keenly sensed that Li Yuan was hiding something. But it didn't matter. She would figure out eventually, as long as you're willing to marry me right now, that's all that matters. What? Boss, are you really going to marry that shrew? Junzi, watch your language. Even if the boss doesn't care that she stabbed you, what about Qianhua? Have you forgotten how he died? After hearing Hua Junzi's words, Gu Xingye leaned back in her chair. There might be more to my uncle's death. In any case, I need an engagement ceremony arranged quickly. Hua Junzi, the diligent worker, accepted his boss's task, but he was clueless about engagement parties, so he could only turn to his girlfriend, Li Yuan's subordinate, Fun Mao, who was intentionally close to him under a false identity. Fun Mao, disguised as Ro, answered the phone, instantly switching to a sweet voice. Why are you calling Ro so late? An engagement party? For whom? my boss, and her amnesiac girlfriend. Fan Mao was momentarily stunned. What's wrong? Is there a problem? No, just a little surprised. I thought it was for you. Oh, if you wanted one. But Fan Mao cut off Hua Juan's rambling. Leave it to me. From the dress to the venue. I guarantee I'll make it perfect. Thank you so much. We haven't finished. Fan Mao hung up. Furious, she fumed, that scumbag, taking advantage of my boss's amnesia to trick her into marriage. Just you wait. A few days later, Li Yuan was trying on wedding dresses. But her intuition told her that the shop assistant wasn't what she seemed. She ripped off the assistant's wig. It was Fan Mao in disguise that you're not a shop assistant. What's your purpose in approaching me? As expected of the boss, even with amnesia, you're still so vigilant. I'm here to get you. You can't marry Gu Xingye. You don't have a blood feud. Gu Xingye, waiting outside, sensed something was wrong and asked if Li Yuan was ready. Our people are outside. Boss, let's get out of here. Li Yuan didn't recognize Fan Mao and was torn between trusting her and handing her over to Gu Xingye. But Gu Xingye heard the commotion and was about to pull back the curtain. Li Yuan quickly darted out, shielding Fan Mao that it's nothing, honey. My dress came undone. Can you help me? As Gu Xingye reached out, she noticed the large expanse of exposed skin on the dress's back. Wait a minute. This dress is too revealing. Don't bother trying it on. Just take it off. She then leaned in closer, whispering, Want me to help you? Fan Mao, peeking from behind the curtain, seethed. This lustful man, how dare he defile the boss? She couldn't stand it anymore that I'm going to go out there and beat him up. Just as she was about to step out, Li Yuan saw her. To avoid exposure, Li Yuan kissed Gu Xingye. Gu Xingye was stunned. Fan Mao, still halfway out of the dressing room, was also stunned. She could only retreat. But Gu Xingye still sensed something. What was that sound just now? What other sound could it be? The sound of me kissing you, of course. You've wrinkled the dress. Buy it and only wear it for me. As they continued their flirtatious banter, a subordinate suddenly arrived. Miss Ding wants to see you. Gu Xingye, not yet finished with her affectionate moment with Li Yuan, turned and dismissed the subordinate. Not now. But Li Yuan wanted to use this opportunity to get him away, so Fan Mao could escape and meet Mei. I also really want to know what she's here for. So, Gu Xingye listened to his wife and went to meet Miss Ding. Li Yuan, who was fashionably late, had just arrived at the door when she overheard their unbelievable conversation. Brother Xingye, are you really going to marry her? How can you marry an enemy? Have you forgotten that she killed your uncle? The underworld boss, about to walk down the aisle, unexpectedly learned of the blood feud between the two. Li Yuan unintentionally overheard Gu Xingye and Miss Ding's conversation. Did she really kill Gu Xingye's uncle, the man who adopted her? But in her fragmented memories, that man had always been good to her. Could it be that what Fan Mao said in the fitting room was true? Did she and Gu Xingye really have a blood feud? Lost in thought, Li Yuan fell into a vortex of memories. In her memory, she was running frantically, but a familiar voice stopped her in her tracks. Yuan, come back with me. I will definitely find out the truth and protect your safety. Get out of my way. Don't block me. Yuan, if you leave now, you'll be confirming your guilt in killing my uncle. If you didn't do it, stay and face it with me. But for some reason, Li Yuan couldn't listen to Gu Xingye's kind words. In the last moment of the memory, she mercilessly slashed at Gu Xingye. The next second, she woke up from the dream, screaming. A broad arm embraced her. It's okay. I'm here. It was just a nightmare. After saying that, Gu Xingye picked up a bottle of medicine next to him. Take some medicine to calm down. Seeing the medicine, Li Yuan recalled how Gu Xingye had always been wary in testing her. If she really was the enemy who killed his uncle, then his previous capriciousness was understandable. But what about now? Was the tenderness he was showing now genuine, or did he have ulterior motives? Seeing that she hadn't moved for a long time, Gu Xingye asked what she was thinking. Li Yuan quickly changed the subject. I want you to, like last time. Until she understood Gu Xingye's purpose, she couldn't let her guard down. Gu Xingye didn't suspect anything for the moment. Are you complaining that I was too rough with you last time? Or are you hoping I'll be gentle? I just had some rough tenderness. But soon he tentatively asked her, You heard Ding Luiying's words earlier. Don't you want to ask me anything? I know. She's deliberately trying to drive a wedge between us. How could I believe her? Right, don't trust anyone. Li Yuan certainly wouldn't believe her. She only ever trusted herself. The four major chambers of commerce are Vermilion Bird, Azure Dragon, Black Tortoise, and Qilin. 4 generations. The Hua family has been the head of the Black Tortoise, leading the chamber. Therefore, Black Tortoise is also known as the General Chamber of Commerce. Gu Xingye's uncle, the former head of the Hua family, was suddenly killed 2 years ago. The Sifang seal disappeared. The vice president of the Black Tortoise Chamber of Commerce, Ding Yuanzhan, took the position of Hua family head. While investigating the truth behind the former head's death, an eyewitness claimed, that it was you who had just taken over the Vermilion Bird Chamber of Commerce, who usurped power. Remembering some things, Li Yuan sought out her completely trusted Fun Mao to explain what had happened. So, the Sifong seal just happened to appear in my hands, and I was framed. That's right, the loss of the Sifong seal couldn't be publicized. You were secretly wanted by the upper echelons of the Chamber of Commerce for a while. Later, you recruited us brothers and fought our way back to the Vermilion Bird Chamber of Commerce and took over again. Li Yuan pondered Fun Mao's words. I must have made some kind of deal with them, or persuaded them, to maintain the superficial peace. Immediately, Li Yuan instructed Fun Mao, Song Luo, help me investigate that eyewitness who identified me, as well as the details of the former Hua family head's death. But Fun Mao told her that she had already given these orders before. It seemed it really had nothing to do with her. If that's the case, then who is the killer? A man, in order to marry his nemesis, was willing to risk his life. As soon as Li Yuan returned home after gathering information, Gu Xingye eagerly stepped forward and confined her. I noticed you weren't home as soon as I got back. Where did you go? Li Yuan, of course, wouldn't tell him the truth. She just said she went to try on another dress. Unexpectedly, Gu Xingye acted out of character and warned her not to go out recently. Li Yuan was very displeased. What, are you trying to imprison me again? Gu Xingye, however, said he just didn't want anything to go wrong before the engagement. Li Yuan's sharp senses picked up on something. Gu Xingye's reaction seemed off. She asked him if something was wrong. Gu Xingye's expression darkened slightly. Nothing. Just worried my fiancée might suddenly change her mind and not want to marry me. The next second, he possessively wrapped his arm around Li Yuan's waist. How about I wear you out so much you can't even leave the house? He said, drawing closer to Li Yuan, close enough to feel each other's breath. But these suggestive words and intimate gestures couldn't move our experienced Li Yuan. All right, enough games. Put me down. Now, tell me what's really going on. Seeing that he'd been found out, Gu Xingye dropped the pretense. Yuan, your memory has been recovering lately, right? Can you remember where the Sifong seal is? A few days later, Li Yuan looked thoughtfully at the Sifong seal in her hand. Suddenly, a throwing knife flew towards her. Such a unique greeting. It must be our Xiao Qianli. Reactions as sharp as ever. Looks like Gu Xingye hasn't softened you up. Qianli, what are you doing here? Sheng Qianli stood up gracefully. Naturally, I'm here to give my dear Yuan some important news. Tomorrow is your engagement banquet. Don't you want to know where your dear fiancé has gone? At that moment, sitting before Gu Xingye was the acting head of the Ding family that I was attacked a few days ago on the island. It was Uncle Ding who sent them, wasn't it? Of course not. Why would you think that? Your uncle and I built this business together. You, like Lu Ying, are family to me. I would never hurt family. But Li Yuan is the murderer of the former head. Protecting her is the same as opposing the Chamber of Commerce. Even if you are my family, I will not hesitate. Boss Gu, you know what to do. Don't make things difficult for Mr. Ding. Do you want to be my family? Or betray me and become an enemy of the entire Chamber of Commerce? Gu Xingye smiled indifferently. Mr. Ding worries too much. I certainly wouldn't betray the Chamber of Commerce for a woman. My engagement to Li Yuan is just a way to get the location of the Sifong seal from her. Hearing this, Uncle Ding looked at Gu Xingye with suspicion. In that case, change the engagement to my daughter, Lu Ying. I trust you can obtain the Sifong seal before the engagement with Li Yuan, and then dispose of her. The sworn enemies were finally about to enter the palace of marriage. But the person standing beside Gu Xingye wasn't Li Yuan. That I have no objections to Uncle Ding's arrangement. But I have one condition. I can get engaged to Ding Lu Ying, but the Qilin Chamber of Commerce, managed by Liao, must be handed over to me. After all, a son-in-law is more trustworthy than that dog. Do you agree, father-in-law? Sheng Qianli had been eavesdropping on this entire conversation. Yuan, what do you think Gu Xingye is now? At the hotel you chose, with the banquet you envisioned. Ding Luing might even be wearing the dress you picked out. Hearing this, Li Yuan's face remained expressionless. She turned to leave. Qianli quickly chased after her. Yuan, where are you going? Are you going to kill that treacherous couple? Take me with you. But as soon as they opened the door, a gun blocked their path. The boss's orders. You're not allowed to leave this place. Miss Li Yuan, please go back. Hua Juanza saw Sheng Qianli behind her. Who are you? How did you get in here? Sheng Qianli laughed. Yuan, you even have bodyguards? So it's all true. I've been imprisoned again. Gu Xingye, you liar. The gunshots will attract attention soon. I advise you not to act rashly. Hearing this, Li Yuan let out a chilling laugh. Mr. Juanza, it seems you haven't attracted your subordinates. Hua Juanza turned around in confusion. Seeing the newcomer, his eyes widened in disbelief. His soon-to-be wife was pointing a gun at him. How could it be you? Hua Juanza's jaw dropped. Taking advantage of his shock, Sheng Qianli knocked him unconscious with a chop to the neck. Looking at the unconscious Hua Juanzi, what should we do now? Li Yuan's expression was firm that I need to go somewhere. They both spoke at the same time. Where? To the engagement party, of course, to congratulate Gu Xingye. Let's hurry. The main event is about to begin. Please exchange rings. Mr. Gu Xingye, do you take Miss Ding to be your lawfully wedded wife? Meanwhile, the wedding ceremony was proceeding smoothly. For richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. Do you take him? The words I do wouldn't come. As she hesitated, the priest behind her was suddenly shot down. The newcomer was Liao Laoda of the Qilin Chamber of Commerce. Nobody move. I have this place surrounded. Gu Xingye, you want to take my Qilin Chamber of Commerce? You'll need to live long enough. Li Yuan arrived to find the scene in chaos. So many injured. It seems someone beat you to crashing the engagement party. The two immediately decided to go inside. Gu Xingye, with his imposing 2.8-meter frame, exuded a powerful aura. He walked up and slapped Gu Xingye across the face. Ding Luiying tried to intervene. Li Yuan, what are you doing? Gu Xingye, are you just going to hide behind a woman? Too afraid to even speak to me. Despite Li Yuan's provocation, Gu Xingye remained calm. Haven't you seen enough? What more is there to say? Ding Luiying fanned the flames. Li Yuan, Gu Xingye is my fiancé now. He has nothing to do with you. You have no right to accuse him. Please leave our engagement party. Miss, your fiancé and this engagement party belonged to me just a few hours ago. As someone who's been replaced, let me advise you not to trust this man too much. He'll stop at nothing to get what he wants. He'll never truly love you. Ding Luiying, emboldened by anger, tried to slap Li Yuan. Predictably, her hand was caught effortlessly. What? Are you eager to be hit too? Chairman Ding finally intervened, stopping the argument. Ding Shu, today is not the day for further conflict. Let them go. Li Yuan didn't accept his kindness. I never let those who deceive me off easy. But not today. Today is just a warning. Watching everything unfold, Chairman Ding understood. Just then, a subordinate reported, Chairman, everyone from the Qilin Chamber of Commerce has escaped. We couldn't catch them. He's the head of the Qilin Chamber of Commerce. After all, he wouldn't be caught easily. But he's a fool, so easily provoked by Gu Xingye, demanding the Qilin Chamber of Commerce, instigating Liao Ming to disrupt the engagement party. Just like that, he's wasted a useful pawn. Gu Xingye has truly impressed me these past few years. Step by step, define my plans. That indecisive waste of space. When did he become a wolf? Lost in thought, he suddenly heard someone call his name. It was Li Yuan, who had already left. Ding Shu, you've been chasing me for so long. You want the Sifang seal, right? Do you want to cooperate with me? Chairman Ding looked at Li Yuan, his expression unreadable. I want to crush Gu Xingye. Afterwards, I'll hand over the Sifang seal to you. Chairman Ding slowly replied, you want my help? Is that it? But in the next second, he burst into almost hysterical laughter. I might have wanted the Sifang seal before, but now I've practically secured my position. Does the Sifang seal even matter anymore? For me, getting rid of you, a major threat, is far more important. Once rivals, these underworld bosses now became close partners. As it turned out, everything that happened at the wedding was part of their plan. The goal was for Li Yuan to successfully approach Ding Yuan, the head of the Sifang Chamber of Commerce. Before, when he took over the chamber, he needed the Sifang seal to legitimize his position. But his recent attacks on Li Yuan proved the seal was no longer essential. He needs to believe you still have it, that he still needs you. So Li Yuan lied, claiming the Sifang seal held the key to a secret political scandal. But the cunning Ding Yuan immediately became suspicious. He then played along, asking Li Yuan to do something for him. With things having come to this, Li Yuan had no choice but to agree for now. But just as Fen Mao found a clue about this matter, Gu Xingye barged in without any explanation. In everyone's eyes, Gu Xingye was still a treacherous scoundrel. So, after everyone left, the two continued to argue to avoid suspicion. Only after confirming everyone was gone did Gu Xingye eagerly embrace his wife. Ding Yuan is always suspicious. If I avoided you, he'd think we were plotting something. But me coming to bother you confirms our falling out. Most importantly, it allows us to test how many of his spies are hidden within the Chamber of Commerce. Now that he knows I'm here, he'll do everything to drive us apart, to prevent us from cooperating again. Are you scared? Li Yuan asked teasingly. Scared? Of course I'm scared. I'm scared of losing my wife. Dropping the pretense, Gu Xingye reverted to his playful self. Li Yuan's eyes held a cunning glint. Ding Luiying said you killed my uncle. Don't you resent me at all? I did before, but now I know you're not the killer. Just as Li Yuan wanted to continue pressing about who the killer was, a sharp knock came at the door. Li Yuan also felt the time was about right. Let's go. If you stay any longer, we'll be exposed. Although Gu Xingye was reluctant, he admitted it was indeed time. Then I'll go. Be careful in your cooperation with Ding Yuan. Continuing the act, Li Yuan shoved Gu Xingye out of the room, still muttering complaints. But when Gu Xingye fell to the ground and looked up, he discovered the person knocking was Shang Qianli. Hello, Yuan. Li Yuan hadn't expected him to come. Why is it you? Why can't it be me? Don't you want to see me? What's he doing here? What's your relationship with him? Looking at the suddenly appearing Shang Qianli, Li Yuan suddenly realized something. Wasn't his timing always too coincidental? Thinking carefully, the fact that Shang Qianli could get the recording of Gu Xingye and Ding Yuan was also suspicious. Unaware of Li Yuan's thoughts, the two were still bickering. Hey, you have a fiancé and you're still harassing Yuan. How low can you go? None of your business. Li Yuan stepped in to stop their argument. Gu Xingye, we've made ourselves clear. Please leave. Gu Xingye cooperated and left, giving Li Yuan a deep look before he went. After Gu Xingye left, Li Yuan asked Shang Qianli why he had come. The thing you asked me to knit is finished. It can be delivered to a now. Li Yuan's memory hadn't fully recovered, and she didn't remember the H information. But she couldn't reveal that, so she pretended to be calm. I'll deal with it when I have time. Shang Qianli was puzzled. Isn't there a deadline? Aren't you afraid of being punished for being late? This isn't like you, Li Yuan. Hearing him say this, Li Yuan immediately became alert. She feigned anger and cornered Shang Qianli. Knowing that, you still dare to rush me? Whose fault is it that it's late? Gu Xingye's matter is already making me very irritable, so you'd better shut up. With that, she slammed the door on Shang Qianli. Scary. A heartbroken woman is truly terrifying. After sending Shang Qianli away, the most urgent matter was to figure out who H was. So she found Fan Mao and asked if she knew about the H information. As it turned out, H was actually connected to the underground auction house that Chairman Ding wanted to investigate. The business partner she was required to cooperate with on pharmaceuticals was unexpectedly also intricately linked to Ding Yuan. The once rivaling underworld bosses were now frolicking in the water as if no one else was around. Li Yuan got the pharmaceutical business partner's information from Fan Mao. Unexpectedly, it was just a phone number. She found a deserted phone booth and called, but no one answered. Just as she was at a loss, a car stopped in front of the phone booth. Li Yuan then understood. That call was just a doorbell. They're pretty quick. She was then asked to put on a blindfold and was led by bodyguards to an unfamiliar place. But when she took off the blindfold, she was stunned. Before her eyes was an extremely sensual scene of debauchery. And the red-haired woman sitting in the middle was the boss behind H. She haughtily said to the man at her feet, "Wait until I've greeted the guest, then I'll come and train you." With that, the man was lifted up by two bodyguards and taken out of the room. But as he passed Li Yuan, he suddenly looked up at her with pleading eyes. "Please, help me. Get me out of here." Hearing his plea, the red-haired woman seemed displeased. Too much talking. My pet shouldn't be talking to other women. Throw something to the dogs. Hearing her words, the man immediately knelt down and begged for mercy. I was wrong. Please spare me. I was wrong. Li Yuan couldn't bear to watch what was happening and spoke up to the red-haired woman's assistant. What's with the dramatics? I was just scaring him. We live in a civilized society. Why would we feed someone to dogs? After all, he was also a customer here before. Just teach him a lesson, break his legs or something. Li Yuan was shocked. This man, tortured like this, was actually a customer here? That's right, a businessman just like you. I gave him a down payment, but he couldn't deliver the goods. I'm sure you wouldn't make that kind of mistake, Li Yuan. Mortgaging himself to become my pet, right? After speaking, he had a servant bring Li Yuan a glass of wine. Try it. Is this wine still the lipstick shade you liked before? Thanks for the medicine you entrusted to me. It's ready. When do you want to pick it up? No rush. Have a drink. Let's sit down and talk slowly. But as Li Yuan brought the glass to her lips, she smelled an unusual scent. This wine, it seems to be drugged. What? Afraid to drink my wine? Afraid I'll poison you. The red-haired woman blew a puff of smoke in Li Yuan's face. Li Yuan then lost consciousness. When she woke up again, she was in Gu Xingye's arms. Jiang Huang, what did you do? Gu Xingye glared angrily at the red-haired woman behind him. Just a little something to liven things up. What are you making such a fuss about? There's no antidote. Deal with it yourself. At this moment, Li Yuan, in Gu Xingye's arms, began to stir. Xingye, I'm so hot. My body feels strange. Gu Xingye anxiously placed Li Yuan into the cool water. Yuan, does this feel any better? But Li Yuan was already losing control. I'm already like this. what are you still pretending for? Xingye. Gu Xingye didn't immediately understand what she meant. Not now. You're not in your right mind. Li Yuan cupped his face. Why are you avoiding me? What are you afraid of? You're the one who says no, yet you're the one who kisses me. You're the one who shuts me out, yet you're the one who keeps me here. Why am I completely exposed before you, while you remain aloof, deceiving me? You always use these small favors to win me over, while hiding behind the truth, constantly testing me. Are you that afraid of me? Even now, you don't dare. Aren't you just a useless coward? The word coward completely enraged Gu Xingye. He grabbed Li Yuan's probing hand and flipped her over, pressing her down into the water. He impatiently tore open her suggestive clothing. Li Yuan, have I been too tolerant of you? Is that why you're so arrogant, challenging me again and again? Right now, you can't understand me, but sooner or later, you will understand everything I've done. The female boss, in order to rescue the young man she'd only met once, ended up questioning the male boss's skills. The next morning, the drug's effects wore off. Li Yuan opened her eyes to see Gu Xingye sleeping peacefully beside her. His unguarded appearance made Li Yuan unable to read him once more. Staring at me like that. Do you want round two? I see. I wasn't diligent enough last night, which is why you woke up so early. It turned out Gu Xingye had already been awake. Li Yuan, now fully awake, blushed instantly in no need to show off your stamina. The drug's worn off. Use someone and run. You're really practical, Li Yuan. But Li Yuan ignored his teasing. She only wanted to know who the woman was who had drugged her. She had given her such a big gift, she had to return the favor. But Gu Xingye thought it was too dangerous. You don't even remember anything and you dare provoke her? Unless you beg me, I won't tell you how to deal with her. Li Yuan was speechless. She just wanted to focus on her business, not flirt. How do you want me to beg? Like this? Like this? Or like this? In the end, Gu Xingye gave in, accompanying her to H's dungeon. Li Yuan kept thinking about the beautiful man she had met yesterday. She had a feeling Jiang Huang cared about him a great deal, so she was determined to rescue him. Just as they were about to succeed, the legendary H, along with his subordinate Jiang Huang, arrived on the scene. Unexpectedly, Li Yuan, who had been prepared, wasn't flustered at all. Instead, she revealed H's dealings with Chairman Ding and a certain arms smuggling operation. It was H who had had his inside man at customs deceive the soldiers, intending to keep the goods for himself. Learning that Li Yuan had substantial evidence, H was forced to yield. He asked Li Yuan what she wanted. Her condition was simple. She wanted to take the man with her. After she made her demand, H didn't react much. It was Gu Xingye who was unhappy. Is she really doing this to get back at Jiang Huang? Or is she interested in this green tea guy? His actions provoked a strong reaction from Jiang Huang. Li Yuan, just you wait. The rescued man was extremely grateful to Li Yuan. He told her his name was Ling Min. He expressed his wish to follow Li Yuan. This made Gu Xingye even more displeased. Why are you blushing when you're just talking? Not giving him a chance to say anything more, Gu Xingye turned and pushed him away. But just as the two walked away, a pungent smell wafted over. Before Li Yuan had time to react, she fainted on the ground. When she woke up again, she was tied up in front of Jiang Huang. That IT really is you, Jiang Huang. You're a bit too impatient. Of course, my game can finally begin. How could I not be impatient? I can't wait to see you torn apart and begging for mercy. After speaking, Jiang Huang raised a whip in their hand and lashed it fiercely at Li Yuan. But Li Yuan, a veteran of many battles, easily dodged it. Oops, my mistake. I should have tied your legs too, Jiang Huang said, then relentlessly brought the whip down a second time. But Li Yuan dodged with a flash. This time it's to get back at me for being too agile. Huh? Then why did you drug me last time? You can't just be a mad dog that bites randomly. I just don't like you. Who told you to cooperate with someone I hate? Someone you hate? Who are you talking about? Sheng Qianli, of course. Jiang Huang brought the whip down again, but Li Yuan, taking advantage of their earlier conversation, had already untied her hands. She grabbed Jiang Huang's whip. Sorry, but I'm the one in charge of the game now. The once evenly matched underworld bosses were now bickering jealously because of the involvement of a third party. Li Yuan successfully captured Jiang Huang, intending to hand them over to H for a beneficial exchange. Just then, Gu Xingye arrived, apologizing for his oversight and promising it wouldn't happen again. This instantly disgusted Jiang Huang. Just like that, Li Yuan successfully delivered Jiang Huang to Ding Yuan. She wanted to probe and ask what Ding Yuan had on Gu Xingye, but the old fox chose to remain tight-lipped. Thus, Li Yuan returned home empty-handed. Just as she opened the door, she encountered an unexpected guest. Gu Xingye suddenly rushed out and pinned her against the wall. Didn't we agree to see each other less to avoid Ding Yuan's suspicion? We agreed not to see each other in public, not in private. What are you planning to do with that Ling Bing you brought back? You came all the way here just for this? Ling Bing hasn't told me what he plans to do. He's very guarded. I'm planning to feign falling for someone else to make our breakup more believable. This was a perfectly reasonable plan, but Gu Xingye flatly refused. He pulled Li Yuan into his arms and kissed her again. That you're feigning affection for Ling Min? That's not happening. Li Yuan completely ignored his provocation. You replaced your fiancé, so I'm not allowed to replace my fiancé? Just then, a voice came from outside the door. Miss Bai, are you there? I made some tea. Would you like to join me? My new fiancé is here to bring me tea. Shouldn't my old fiancé leave now? But at this moment, Gu Xingye suddenly smiled mischievously. Then it's just perfect for your new fiancé to hear the sounds you make with your old fiancé. Gu Xingye then leaned in to kiss her. Li Yuan desperately wanted to meet the person outside. Behave yourself. Li Yuan struggled desperately that I don't like being controlled. Then what do you like? Do you like me serving you like this? Li Yuan blushed. Enough is enough. In her panic, she knocked over a cup on the table. The knocking at the door became more urgent. What was that sound? Miss Li, are you alright? Li Yuan quickly opened the door and told Ling Bing she was fine, just as she had accidentally bumped the table. With her other leg, she kept Gu Xingye pinned against the wall. Ling Bing said he had made tea and asked if he could come in and chat with Li Yuan. Li Yuan had no choice but to refuse, saying it was getting late. Then Ling Bing took out an invitation from Ding Yuan, inviting her to a birthday banquet. At this time, Gu Xingye was still behaving inappropriately. Li Yuan quickly took the invitation and sent Ling Bing away. He's gone now. Let go of me. I don't want to. Your body is more honest than your mouth. No more fever now, huh? Back to business. Ding Yuan just said he was going to make a move on you, and now he's throwing a birthday party. What a coincidence. It's probably a trap for you. Are you going? Of course I'm going. How else can we continue our plan? So, on the day of the banquet, Mi Yuan brought Lin Bing along. She seemingly whispered intimately in his ear, but in reality, she was instructing him to keep a close eye on everything happening. However, she completely failed to notice the little rascal behind her, who had already conjured 2 mushroom clouds above her head. Taking advantage of a moment when no one was around, Li Yuan pulled Ding Yuan into a lounge. Tea is such a crucial time. Why did you bring Ding Shu? I was planning to use this opportunity to introduce my new partner to everyone, to make our breakup more convincing. Was it necessary to get so close to him? I think you're deliberately trying to provoke me. Stop smiling at him. Unbelievable. With our lives on the line, you're still thinking about these things. Yes, our lives are on the line. So, are you going to deny me even my last meal before I die? This from the underworld boss who had always fought by her side. Unexpectedly, the mole the Jin family had sent to monitor him. Before this, Li Yuan had already become suspicious. Why did Sheng Qianli always appear the moment anything related to Ding Yuan happened? Even news of that wedding came from Sheng Qianli. Until this day, in the basement of Ding Yuan's birthday banquet, she met Liao Ming, who had betrayed him before. To save his own life, Liao Ming volunteered the information that Sheng Qianli was the mole. Little did he know, Li Yuan had already guessed. Fearing she wouldn't save him because of this, Liao Ming finally confessed. The person I helped Ding Yuan find to frame you for Hua Shuren's murder. It was me. He wanted me to silence them afterward, but I hid them. I'm still alive because I'm holding on to this leverage. Save me, and I'll lead you to them. This clue made Li Yuan hesitate. After careful consideration, she was just about to save him when gunshots erupted in the main banquet hall. In this urgent situation, she had to rush back to the banquet hall. Lin Bing reported to her. Gu Xingye offered a toast to Ding Yuan, but Ding Yuan suddenly collapsed, accusing Gu Xingye of poisoning him. Then Gu Xingye was surrounded and escaped. But Lin Bing saw that Ding Yuan had actually prepared the wine himself in the kitchen. That is he using that same old trick again? Framing Gu Xingye, making him the culprit in Hua Shuren's murder, and then eliminating him in broad daylight. At this point, Gu Xingye was being cornered by Ding Yuan's man at the edge of a cliff. That it seems Ding Yuan still remembers our agreement to hand Gu Xingye over to me alive. But if this drags on, I'm afraid Ding Yuan's patience will wear thinner than Ding's shoes. You were poisoned, yet you're still chasing me all the way here, full of energy. Truly an eye-opening experience. Such a clumsy scheme. Does he think everyone is a fool? I have to capture you myself to be at ease. Though, I'd be more at ease if you were dead. After saying this, Ding Yuan shot Gu Xingye. Gu Xingye instantly lost his balance and fell into the water. Hua Juanza immediately jumped in after him to save him. Seeing Hua Juanza jump in, Song Luo pretended to save him and followed. But this was actually arranged by Li Yuan. He quickly moved Gu Xingye to safety. Although it deviated slightly from a plan, she hoped they would both be safe. Li Yuan, your former lover and subordinate both died here. You seem very calm. I avenged you. Now, it's your turn to hand over the Sifong seal. Li Yuan forced herself to remain calm. With Song Luo there, even if they fell, they weren't necessarily dead. Why are you in such a hurry? Something as important as the Sifong seal. How could I carry it with me? You're right, I was too hasty. Miss Li Yuan, why don't you come to my house to rest and change your clothes before slowly handing over the Sifong seal? Li Yuan scoffed. Why would I go to your house? The Sifong seal isn't there. The next second, Ding Yuan's patience indeed ran out to Li Yuan. Don't tell me you're going back on your word. Just then, a car suddenly drove up. The three who had just fallen into the water were unexpectedly intercepted by Ding Yuan's men. They even captured all the subordinates Li Yuan had sent to meet them. Surprised, aren't you, Miss Li Yuan? You didn't think I was the kind of villain who wouldn't finish the job, did you? But you hate him so much. Why did you secretly send people to save him? Could it be that you and Gu Xingye are conspiring together? By now, Li Yuan was completely enraged. Ding Shu, if I remember correctly, you're not qualified to ask such questions. How I deal with Gu Xingye is none of your business, and certainly not yours, Ding Shu. Our deal was you give me Gu Xingye, and I give you the Sifong seal. But now you've taken it upon yourself to injure Gu Xingye. Am I to understand that you intend to break our agreement, Ding Shu? Ding Yuan was shaken by these words. Could it be that this really wasn't a scheme? Release the others and hand Gu Xingye over to me. The deal remains valid. Otherwise, I'll consider this a unilateral breach of contract by you, Ding Shu. I'm certainly sincere about this transaction, but I'm more curious about how Miss Li Yuan plans to handle Gu Xingye. Li Yuan feigned nonchalance. Imprison him, of course. There are so many ways to play with him, but these are games we young people play. I'm afraid it's a bit hard for you to understand, Ding Shu. Just then, a familiar figure reappeared on the scene. Imprison Gu Xingye? I like that. Come play at my place, Yuan Yuan. I have 3 basements, each with different amenities. You can take your pick. The once rival gang leaders had now degraded into each other's playthings. And the loyal, white-haired follower who had always been by his side turned out to be a spy sent by the opposing side to monitor him. The sudden appearance of Sheng Qianli disrupted Li Yuan's plan. Qianli, what are you doing here? Following you, Yuan Yuan, of course. If you die, I can get her body first for research. Spare me your creepy obsession. Yuan Yuan, you wound me. So, have you decided which basement Gu Xingye gets? Sheng Qianli finished speaking and winked at Ding Yuan. Although Sheng Qianli's appearance wasn't part of his plan, Ding Yuan figured that handing Gu Xingye over to him was no different than keeping him himself. So he nonchalantly ordered his men to hand Gu Xingye over. A short while later, Gu Xingye woke in a dark basement. To avoid arousing Sheng Qianli's suspicion, Li Yuan put on an air of haughty indifference. But their bickering irritated Sheng Qianli. Yuan Yuan, I went through all this trouble to bring him back, not to watch you try to reform him. Shouldn't you at least make him a hostage first? Li Yuan was annoyed that I have my own plan. But Sheng Qianli lingered at the door, wanting to watch. Fine, let's see how Yuan Yuan wants to play. Li Yuan was forced to put on a sickeningly sweet act. He's in my hands now. I can do whatever I want with him. She reached out and touched Gu Xingye's abs. But Gu Xingye, at the worst possible moment, let out a soft moan. The wound isn't on your stomach. Why are you moaning? She leaned in and whispered, play along. Gu Xingye reluctantly went along with her charade. What do I have to do to make you let me go? Li Yuan pulled out a small whip. A touch makes you moan. What about this? I went to great lengths to capture you. Just letting you go like that. Who will pay for ruining my wedding? So what do you want? To humiliate me like this? Or are you planning to use him to punish me? Sheng Qianli, watching from the side, finally lost his patience. Are you two arguing or flirting? Can you get to the point? Li Yuan didn't even glance at him. Torment is best savored slowly. If you can't stand it, take your time and enjoy the show. She slammed the door. But the moment Sheng Qianli left, Gu Xingye domineeringly kissed Li Yuan. What is going on? Care to explain the props and the sudden shift in your fiancé act? Li Yuan's face was filled with displeasure. Ding Yuan still doesn't have the Sifong seal, and we're still under Sheng Qianli surveillance. He won't be patient for long. He'll probably make a move on me within 2 days. As soon as she finished speaking, silence fell. I just went through a near-death experience, and all you can think about is that old man Ding Yuan. Am I really not worth a second of your attention? Gu Xingye, this isn't the time. Sheng Qianli could come back any minute. Then what is the right time? When I'm dying. Our Yuan Jie is so focused on her career. Who knew little puppy Gu was such a romantic? Gu Xingye felt a pang of hurt. The gang, my subordinates, anyone is more important than me. What do I have to do to make her notice me? If waiting won't work, I'll have to take the initiative. Without even changing his bandages, he leaned in to kiss Li Yuan. Gu Xingye. Are you crazy? You're still injured. But when she looked down, she saw a broken expression on his face. A little lower, please. Kiss me, he pleaded, and kissed her again, desperately. Li Yuan, focused on her schemes, didn't understand what Gu Xingye was thinking. She didn't understand why she felt a sense of despair from his kiss. Just as she started to succumb, the impatient Sheng Qianli burst in. Yuan, what are you doing? The next second, I was stunned by the sight before my eyes. So, your method of revenge is to corner him here. Does it really hurt your heart that much? Li Yuan, don't tell me you've become the kind of person I hate the most, someone who goes back on their word. Just as Li Yuan was panicking, Gu Xingye slowly moved away from her and sat up. Sheng Qianli, have you been single for too long? Don't you know it's normal for couples trying to reconcile to be a little intimate? What, are you jealous? Sheng Qianli's expression darkened. Are you kidding me? I'd be jealous of you? The once rival gang leaders, now willingly dressed in women's clothing, were at her mercy. So, Li Yuan's current attitude made Sheng Qianli very unhappy. So, your method of revenge is to corner him here and kiss him senseless? But at this moment, Gu Xingye chuckled and sat up. Why are you always around us? Were you just naturally a dog who likes to eat dog food? Sheng Qianli almost laughed in anger. How interesting. You're the second person who dares to say that to my face. The last one who did is now thoroughly soaked in formalin. Before he could pull out his gun, Li Yuan delivered a flying kick. Enough. Is it glorious to bully someone who's injured? Yuan, protecting him like this. Don't tell me you've forgotten the deal with Ding Yuan and reconcile with this guy. If Yuan is too soft-hearted to do it, I can kill him for you. After saying that, he turned and raised a scalpel, lunging towards Gu Xingye. But Gu Xingye stopped him with a single sentence. You think she'd be soft-hearted towards me, too? If I were to die just like this, I'd have to thank you. Maybe I could even become the most special person in her heart. She would never be able to forget me. For some reason, these words instantly deflated Sheng Qianli. Yuan, do you like him? Gu Xingye turned and questioned her. Tell him, do you love me? Li Yuan laughed, speechless. Are you threatening me? Or do you think you have the right to tell me who I like? This sentence instantly excited Sheng Qianli. Haha, yes, that's right. This is the Li Yuan I know. Not bewitched by men, always looking at people like they're trash. But Li Yuan wasn't going to let him off the hook either. And you, Sheng Qianli, did I ask you to meddle in my business? I don't think much of either of you. Next time you interfere, I'll cut off your ears so you can hear me clearly. Remember that? But Sheng Qianli seemed captivated by Li Yuan's sudden outburst. Yuan doesn't like them. Then what kind of person does Yuan like? I don't like those who flaunt their bodies to seduce people, and I don't like those who are still acting flirtatious even when they're injured. These two complaints hit Gu Xingye right where it hurt. So, her liking is called disliking, huh? But Li Yuan continued. The husband I like should be as pretty as a girl, with long hair, willing to be under me without resisting. Pretty, long hair doesn't resist. Gu Xingye was struck by the resemblance to his current appearance. Sheng Qianli, thinking of some excuse, claimed he had an experiment to do and turned to leave. His wound is bleeding. You need to rest and recover. Stay put. I'll find a chance to get you out of here. After saying that, Li Yuan left without looking back. Escaping to the restroom, Sheng Qianli breathed heavily, lost in thought. I don't want Yuan to have anything to do with any man. But if the person Yuan likes is me, for some reason, I'm really looking forward to it. At this point, Sheng Qianli arrived at the hospital and not only brutally murdered Liao Ming, whom Li Yuan had saved, but also captured and tortured Li Yuan's new boy toy. You know I'm not a patient man. Answer my question, or you die. Upon receiving the news, Li Yuan furiously rushed to the basement. What question was so important that you had to bring him back here to interrogate? Yuan, why are you here? Why did you kill him? He's Yuan's new boyfriend. Isn't that reason enough to kill him? What about Liao Ming? I don't have any relationship with him. An old man with barely any hair left. Why kill him? Did you want to kill him yourself? But did Ding Yuan tell you to? Give me an acceptable reason, or I won't let anyone who betrays me live another second. Sheng Qianli just stared at her blankly, lost in thought. Yuan cares so much. Is it because I'm an important person to Yuan? Is a dog that bites its own master considered something important? So, to Li Yuan, I'm just a dog. But does Li Yuan prefer me playing the puppy or cosplaying as a big wolf dog? Either way, Li Yuan just likes me. Whether it's Gu Xingye or that legless cripple, neither of them can compare to me, right, Shang Qianli? Li Yuan didn't understand why he would make such a joke. Are you deliberately trying to disgust me? Or do you think I wouldn't dare to make a move? But in the next second, Shang Qianli stepped closer to him, his eyes filled with dangerous aggression. These now rival gang leaders were once each other's bed warmers. It turns out that even the seemingly invincible Shang Qianli had a shameful past. Because of the Shang family's downfall, young Qianli was sold as a commodity to A. While H appeared to be an ordinary club on the surface, it was actually in the business of organ trafficking. Little Qianli, who should have had his organs harvested and sold, carved a bloody path for himself within the organization through his own efforts. And because of this, he transformed from the naive youth he once was into the cold-blooded killer he is today. After escaping from H, the first thing Shang Qianli did was capture his uncle from Manhwa and personally turn him into an obedient specimen. And the first time he met Li Yuan, he captured him and locked him up with the specimen for 10 days. Wow, so impressive. You were locked up for 10 days, and you're still not broken. But when he tried to get close again, Li Yuan, having already freed himself from the chains, slashed at him with a knife. But Li Yuan was no match for Shang Qianli. With a playful mindset of teasing a little mouse, Shang Qianli deliberately left an opening. Li Yuan, quick to react, seized the opportunity and pinned him down. Although your ability to still move surprises me, did you really think I wouldn't have any preparations? Like an idiot just walking in. I've changed my mind. How about we cooperate? How about it? Not long after this, the two became close partners. Li Yuan, the expression you had when you pinned me down back then was really sexy. Now you're pressing me down with the same expression. Does Li Yuan want our relationship to be a little closer? Li Yuan chuckled soundlessly. Are you mistaken about something? My focus has never been on whether you're a dog or not, but on your relationship with Ding Yuan. I don't like being deceived. Tell me the truth. This is the last chance I'm giving you to confess. You want to know the truth that badly? If Li Yuan promises to only be with me from now on, I'll tell you the truth, okay? His frivolous attitude angered Li Yuan again. I'm serious. Shang Qianli, what? Do you think I'm not serious? Your previous close friend, Gu Xingye, has already become your enemy, and your little boyfriend is a crippled waste. Shouldn't I be the next most important person in your heart? What are you hesitating about? As long as you're only with me, I'll tell you the whole truth. At this moment, Gu Xingye was also monitoring their every move. Seeing the scene before him, he gritted his teeth in anger. Come on, tell me, Yuan. As my closest and most trusted person, you can know all my secrets. Everything. Listening to his disgusting words, Li Yuan's expression turned strange. Be your closest person? Yes. Yuan, are you tempted? In the next second, the hand gripping his shoulder moved. Flipping over, Li Yuan once again pinned Shang Qianli to the ground. Li Yuan. When did I ever have to resort to selling my soul for information? No one could stop me from getting what I want. With that, he stole the phone from Shang Qianli's pocket. He held it up to his face. The next second, facial recognition was successful and the phone unlocked. Let me see how much Ding Yuan is paying you to be so loyal to him. Shang Qianli quickly grabbed his hand. Li Yuan, are you sure you really want to see this? This might be Pandora's box for you. Knowing might not be a good thing. Li Yuan completely ignored him. Whether it's a good thing or not isn't up to you. But when he opened the call log, he saw that Shang Qianli had been in contact with Hua Shuren. Hua Shuren, wasn't he dead 6 months ago? How could he still be in contact with Shang Qianli? Gu Xingye, who was monitoring them, was also stunned. Is Shang Qianli really working for Ding Yuan? The once rival gang leaders. Now, because of the girl's words, he's become an obedient puppy. At this moment, Li Yuan and Gu Xingye's men were conducting a transaction at the port. But unexpectedly, Ding Yuan appeared out of nowhere. It turned out he had already received the information passed on by Shang Qianli and was waiting there. Just as he gave the order to attack, Li Yuan and Gu Xingye immediately arrived with a large group of people. Ding Yuan was shocked. How is this possible? Weren't they locked in Shang Qianli's basement? Instead of worrying about me, Uncle Ding, you should be more concerned about your own life. Seeing the overwhelming number of people on the other side, he instantly cowered and changed his tune, starting to play the victim. Li Yuan. No matter what, I watched you grow up. Not only did you kill Yang, your uncle who raised you, but now you want to kill me too. As soon as he finished speaking, Shang Qianli walked out from behind Li Yuan. Ding Yuan, thinking his savior had arrived, frantically winked at Shang Qianli. This made Li Yuan laugh, Uncle Ding, you're blinking so much. Are you trying to seduce me? Nonsense. I just got some sand in my eye. Oh, is that so? I thought you were signaling your planted spy to make a move. But I still have to thank Uncle Ding. To lure you into this trap, I've specifically had Sheng Qianli feed you a lot of information over the past half-month. What? How did you know? Sheng Qianli, you dare betray me? Have you forgotten how I rescued you from H like a dog back then? You actually dare to betray me for a woman. Oh, come on. Don't be so dramatic. Haven't I done everything you wanted? I just want you dead. What's wrong with that? At this point, Ding Yuan was practically driven to madness. Ding Yuan was actually played like a fool by a bunch of kids. Since I'm going to die anyway, we might as well all go down together. Gu Xingye instantly became tense. Li Yuan, watch out. Sheng Qianli also immediately shielded Li Yuan. Just as Ding Yuan's knife was about to fall, Li Yuan swiftly raised her gun. Everyone has a gun, but you're all afraid of a guy with a knife? It's because we're worried about Yuan. What would I do if something happened to her? But Ding Yuan remained fearless. Oh, you really dare to kill me? Half of X's power and the fastest smuggling routes are still in my hands. Without giving him a chance to continue his arrogance, he was shot down in the next second. Dying isn't that easy. Sometimes living is much more painful than dying. Li Yuan beckoned behind her. Two large dogs came over, both obediently responding, then immediately started baring their teeth at each other. He was clearly calling me. Li Yuan promptly interrupted their childish behavior. Qianli, come here. Pick up the knife. Sheng Qianli's smile was incredibly charming. What does Yuan want to do? Stab him. I want to hear him apologize and beg for forgiveness. All right, no problem. This kind of thing, Sheng Qianli is an old hand at. Screams rang out. Li Yuan immediately caught Gu Xingye's displeased expression. What are you unhappy about? Nothing. He said nothing, but his expression betrayed him. I didn't want you to do it because I was afraid of dirtying your hands. Anyway, Qianli is used to this kind of thing. Really, Gu Xingye, the puppy, was easily appeased by his wife's words. After cooperating with Sheng Qianli again, Gu Xingye had been filled with a sense of unease. But he understood that Li Yuan was just putting on an act. After all, in the basement, Sheng Qianli had countless opportunities to kill them, but didn't. This proved that Ding Yuan was their common enemy. However, Sheng Qianli remained tight-lipped about who his real employer was. He kept saying, before the appointed time, I can't tell you anything. And now, it seemed that time was fast approaching. As he stabbed Ding Yuan and sprayed him with what looked like tomato juice, a man in a wheelchair quietly arrived. Enough, Qianli. Stop. If you keep torturing him, he'll die. Everyone present was shocked to see the newcomer. It was the former Hua Shiren, whom everyone knew had been killed by Li Yuan herself. Yet, Li Yuan's expression remained unchanged that I've been waiting for so long. You finally appeared. The once rival gang leaders were now reduced to playthings for each other's amusement. Li Yuan finally remembered everything that happened. Hua Shiren had planned to use Ding Yuan's death to lure out Ding Yuan. So they used Li Yuan, making Gu Xingye also mistakenly believe that Li Yuan killed Hua Shiren. The person Hua Shiren should have trusted the most thus became an eyewitness. This also made people more convinced that Li Yuan was the murderer. But unexpectedly, during the pursuit, she accidentally lost her memory. This led to the series of events that followed. So this was the truth. Li Yuan finally remembered everything. But what good does remembering do? Even if Uncle framed me, he is still my benefactor. An indescribable feeling of frustration had nowhere to go. It then turned towards the collapsed Bing Yuan. If it weren't to protect that old man, Uncle wouldn't have had to do this to me. Unexpectedly, Hua Shiren stopped her in time. Xiao Yuan, don't be impulsive. Ding Yuan's influence is vast. If you kill him like this, it's easy for things to get out of control within the gang. So what if it gets out of control? Just suppress it. The biggest difference between you and me is that I never raise a tiger to only have it turn on me. But in the end, she didn't make a move. She turned and left without a single glance back. The two men stood in silence. One of them had always been known for being decisive and efficient. With the fastest speed and the toughest methods, she swept away Ding Yuan's remaining influence. Hua Shiren saw all of this. Xingye, do you still not understand why I chose to fake my death? Gu Xingye gritted his teeth. I only know that you used me and hurt Li Yuan. She still hasn't taken me off her blacklist. You're still too sentimental. Do you know why I chose to fake my death using Xiao Yuan's hand and not yours? Under such extreme conditions, she will grow rapidly and become the new Hua Shiren, capable of controlling the entire underground world. This is a crisis, but also a challenge. Gu Xingye's pupils suddenly dilated. You mean? I know the taste of power is good, but Xingye, my time is running out. For the better development of the organization, will you give your position to her? Because Xiao Yuan is my true chosen successor. After hearing Hua Shuren's words, Gu Xingye fell silent. A second later, he raised his head, tears streaming down his face. But I was already planning to give the position back to her. I never wanted power. Li Yuan, fresh off a victorious battle, went to a bar to drown her sorrows. Nearby, the happily coupled Hua Junzi and Xiao Luo were inseparable. Li Yuan, in her foul mood, couldn't stand you two have to flirt right next to me. Aren't we worried you're too lonely? We're here to keep you company. Don't worry, sister. I'm not the type to hog all the fun. Xiao Luo clapped her hands. Come in. The door to the private room opened. A familiar figure walked in. I'm number 3 from 0 Point. Pleased to meet you. Seeing the newcomer, Li Yuan nearly spat out her drink. It was Gu Xingye. Seeing the opportunity, Xiao Luo quickly slipped away. Boss, we won't be light bulbs anymore. Enjoy yourselves. After the two left, Gu Xingye let loose. Sister, I'm number 3, Xiao Yi. You can order me to do anything. Li Yuan's interest was piqued. Anything? Then go dance on the pole for me. I don't believe he, a boss, would even go this far. But Gu Xingye not only went that far, he was also surprisingly skilled. Every look was perfectly in place, making one suspect he wasn't a novice. After the dance, he brought Li Yuan a drink, looking at her provocatively. Dare to drink? What's there to be afraid of? I've already had plenty. Li Yuan picked up the glass and drank it all in one gulp. Gu Xingye then nestled into Li Yuan's arms, kissing down her neck. Just as things were heating up, Li Yuan grabbed his collar. Gu Xingye, what are you doing? Gu Xingye gave an ambiguous smile. Sister, do you like this roleplay? The once rival gang leaders were now working together, fighting side by side. Li Yuan had actually heard the entire conversation between Hua Shuren and Gu Xingye that day, but she didn't know if her uncle was truly nurturing her or just using her. It's not enough that you teamed up with Hua Shuren to use me. What more do you want from me? What are you talking about? Weren't we just supposed to talk about happy things today? Not gonna talk? Fine, then we're done here. Once we leave, we're even. We won't bother each other again. These words successfully provoked Gu Xingye. Who said we're even? You want to be even with me? We can't be even. You've never given me what I want. What's there to be even about? What I want is you. Are you deliberately trying to make me angry? You know I don't care about any of that. I only like you. I've only liked you since a long, long time ago. Gu Xingye's heartfelt confession shocked Li Yuan. It made her think of their childhood. He had actually confessed his feelings long ago, but she had never taken it seriously. So what? Plenty of people like me. Just because you like me doesn't mean I have to like you back. We're adults. Besides, didn't Qianli also say he liked me? He's more handsome and richer than you. Her words to provoke him instantly worked. The puppy-like Gu Xingye, in his furry little rage, pulled out his phone. He hastily sent a message to his trusted subordinate and anxiously pulled Li Yuan along, wanting to go notarize his assets, proving that all his property belonged to her. Gu Xingye, are you crazy? You're going out dressed like this? Have you no shame? I'm about to lose my wife. What do I care about shame? Besides, if we go out like this, tomorrow's headlines will be full of our pictures. Exactly. This way, you'll be deeply bound to me. You won't be able to escape. Li Yuan, suddenly lifted into the air, was startled. Hey, put me down. Enough. If you put me down, I'll agree to be with you. Now, it was Gu Xingye's turn to be flustered. Really? Me? You and me? Like boyfriend and girlfriend? He then domineeringly grabbed a cloth and stamped it, as if sealing the deal. Muttering to himself, the puppy-like Gu Xingye was still arguing. Not boyfriend, husband. 3 days later, Hua Shuren finally succumbed to his late-stage cancer and passed away in the hospital. Li Yuan and Gu Xingye attended the funeral with their new identities. Everyone wanted to bid farewell to this legendary figure one last time. But some clueless small-time crooks chose this day to cause trouble. Everyone here, listen up. We're the deceased's Axe Gang. Get your boss, that Gu guy, out here right now. Gu Xingye didn't even look at them. Axe Gang? Never heard of them. Security, throw them out. However, some of these cannon fodder were insistent on courting death. You're their boss? This city will be ours, the Axe Gangs from now on. Get lost. Seeing this, Li Yuan stepped forward and slapped away the hand pointing at Gu Xingye. If you really want this city, then get lost with your little gang. Everyone's watching. If you only send one guy to handle this, people might think we're having problems. Seeing his wife defending him, the puppy-like Gu Xingye's love-struck brain went into overdrive. No problems here. We're great. This infuriated the troublemakers. Are you two seriously flirting right in front of us? That woman must be their gang's mall. And you think you're so great? Completely smitten by a woman. Pathetic excuse for a gang leader. While the two were still being arrogant, a shot rang out, hitting a crucial spot. Get out, or I'll blow your empty heads off. One accurate shot. Aren't you his woman? Li Yuan smirked. Sorry, I'm a boss too. After getting rid of the small fry, Li Yuan took Gu Xingye's hand. She announced to everyone, from today onwards, I am the new leader of the Future Chamber of Commerce, and he is my boyfriend, my future husband, and my one and only love. Looking at the stunned Gu Xingye beside her, Li Yuan handed him the microphone. Cat got your tongue? Say something. But the already restless Gu Xingye suddenly scooped Li Yuan up into his arms. Sorry everyone, we have some family matters to attend to.